Okay, let's create the reverse foot controller. Let's make sure that we have the hierarchy open. We're going to close the set driven key. We don't need it for right now. We're going to select the original skeleton, right? So the white skeleton, right? I made sure to have all the other display layer turned off, but the original skeleton. And under that original skeleton, hit Control D. Just select the left ankle. So hit F on the hypergraph. And by the way, if you hit F and nothing happens, that's only because possibly your leg has been collapsed. So you need to expand all, right? So when it's collapsed and you hit F, just a quick tip, right? If you hit F, nothing happens. Nothing happens. You can't see it. But if you select the leg, right mouse click and expand all, and now select the ankle, hit F right here, and you'll notice that it zooms in on it. So just a little quick tip so that you know what's going on. Okay, so let's hit Control D, select the left ankle, Control D, and Shift P, right? So that we made a duplicate, and now we set it to world space. It's not local. It's not inside of the skeleton. So if you hit F right now, you should have that copy right here. We're going to delete the duplicate of orient constraints. We're going to rename these. The first one will be J ankle, J underscore ankle. Hit OK. Do the same thing for the other one, but J ball, J ball. The next one will be J toe, J underscore toe, right? Under the J ball, we're going to make a duplicate. Hit Control D, right? So we don't need the J toe, but the duplicate of the J ball, we're going to call this one J underscore wiggle. A wiggle, 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 wiggle. A wiggle, 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 wiggle. Nice old song, right? Okay, so now I want to take my J toe again. So I want to create a heel effect, right? So hit the J toe, Control D, name it, Control click, J underscore heel. So this will be the heel. Use spacebar. Now with that spacebar, we're going to push that heel to the back. And let's create a nice pivot position so that we can rotate that heel perfectly. The next step is to have this clear and visible in our scene. We don't want it to look like the white skeleton. So we're going to select what we have so far. Sorry about that. Hit delete. We're going to create another display layer. Let's call this one foot lock with caps lock. Foot lock. Right? So when you look at your display layer, it's like the display layer is screaming at you. Foot lock. Right? Where's my display? Foot lock. Where's my foot lock? Foot lock. Sounds like Foot Locker, but it's not. The next step is to make the heel parented to the J toe. So select the heel, shift select the J toe, and hit P so that now we have a clean hierarchy. We want to also marquee select these and maybe boost the radius to maybe a 33. So it's clear, visible, it's big, not too hard to select and rotate, right? Now we have the foot lock, but only problem is that if I test my foot lock, if I select the J heel, I'm expecting under the IK controllers, under the IK mode, so select this one, and let's go back to IK, right? This is an IK function. If I select my heel, I'm expecting my heel to go up, but nothing happens, right? If I select my ankle, yeah, ankle is okay, but we're going to select the J heel right here, and we're going to use a skeleton and reroute the skeleton. So that now if you take a look at these right here, select the ankle, there it is, and now we have a heel effect. Toe, toe, J ball, right? Ankle is ankle. The only problem that I have is the J wiggle, right? So the J wiggle should be under the J ball. So shift select the J ball. So select the J wiggle, shift select the J ball and hit P. Right, so that now we have the jiggle set. Okay, so the J ankle is set also. Right. Next step is to parent the IK handles from the IK controller. Remember those IK handles? So that now if I move up, those IK handles are there. There should be 3, one on the leg, one on the toe, and one at the end of the toes. And they're right here. We've created them together. Now pay very close attention, right? I want you to select the leg IK handle, which is right here on the ankle, right? Control select, let's see, not the heel, but the ankle, right? So the left leg IK handle 1, which is right here on the ankle. Shift select the J ankle and hit P, so that now that IK handle is right here. And if you want to test it out, but hit Control Z after, test it out right now, right? So now it's taking over. We'll do the same thing for the rest of them. I want you to take the left foot IK handle, which is right here, shift select the J ball joint and hit the letter P, so that now when you select the J ball and rotate the J ball, now we have that nice bending effect, right? It's not an effect, it's just an attribute. And these are the very, very common and most basic attributes that you'll find in any other rigs in this world. And then select the L toe IK handle, right? And let's shift select it, but this time select it on the J wiggle, not the J toe. Hit the letter P, right? So it runs a little bit differently for this one because we selected the J wiggle. But now if you take a look at your rotation, you'll notice that we get this very, very cute and whimsy J wiggle effect. Look at his wiggle. Stop it! You're tickling me. And then after, now that we have this, we can create our attributes. Yay! We're going to create attributes. But once you have this done, that's it. That pretty much defines the reverse foot lock, right? Now everything else is all about creating these attributes in order for you to make these functions run very, very easily just by selecting the IK controller, right? So now we have the reverse foot lock, and let's move on to creating attributes. Yeah, I'm back. Okay, hit Control Shift S, and under scenes, let's go back to Maya binary, and this will be Betty04, so lesson 403. There it is. And capture the thumbnail. Capture. Do it now. There it is. Save as. Save as. Right, so we can always go back to the content browser, look for our projects. Right, if you go under scenes, you should have a display of your thumbs. I said a display of your thumbs. Do it, computer. Do it! Ah, there you go. Awesome. So it looks like 1, 2, not. I'll probably just need to redo these again, but that's fine. But you know what I'm saying, right? So now we have a thumbnail for all of these. Okay, so let's also create these attributes. We're going to select the controller, and we're going to look for the AA tool right here, add attribute. You can easily find these under modify and add. And we're going to create the first attribute. So let's create one called J underscore heel underscore left right. And this will be a float number. Let's move on to the minimum value. So this will be a float. Minimum of -10 to +10. So we're going to create an attribute with, right, -10 to +10. Right. You can also create displayable attributes if you like, just to make the channel box or the layer editor right here much better, right? But we're not here to design attributes. But I'm just saying you can make displayable ones They serve no purpose. It's just for a show. Just for a show. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. So let's do J heel up and down. J heel underscore up underscore down. It says bound. Doesn't say down. And this is the same thing, -10 and +10, and hit add. So now we have the J heel up down. All right, so now we have heel up and down. Let's think about the other attributes. Let's have the J ball, right? Oh, whoops. So you can see it. All right, J ball. Hey, what happened? There. Well, that's weird. Oh, maybe it just needs to... Okay. Also, don't forget to take the J wiggle, shift select it to the J toe, and hit P, just so that the J ball works. Alright, so it might not act, or it might not work, at first, but if you take the J wiggle to the toe, problem solved. Okay, so now we have everything working. Let's move on to the next attribute. Select the controller, open the AA tool. One more time. J heel up down. The next one will be J ball. J underscore ball. Same thing, right? Actually, for the J ball, we're going to have a minimum of 0 and a maximum of 10. And click add, right? Just because a J ball doesn't have any lower values, right? We just need it to bend this way. I don't think I need it to bend the other way. Let's also move on to, let's see, we have, let's do the toe, J toe. J underscore toe. So let's do that with minimum of 0 and maximum of 10. Click add. And for the final one, we're going to set J underscore wiggle. And the wiggle will be minimum -10, maximum +10. Click add. Now we're going to add 2 extra ones in there. Banking left and right. So let's do banking, bank, underscore, left, right. It needs to bank from left and right sides. And this will be minimum value of -10, maximum value of +10, and click add. So that now when you take a look at your controller, there it is. All right, so we now have the J heel up and down, J ball, and I should have the other ones. I don't know why they didn't go through, but we'll do them again. So one more time. Yes, we had the J ball. Let's do the J toe. They didn't go. Okay. J toe. 0. Tab 10. Click add. There it is. Then J underscore wiggle. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. -10. Tab 10. Hit add. The last one will be banking left and right. Bank underscore left underscore right. This will be -10, tab, +10, click add. So now we have all the attributes that we need. We can close that down and we can create these attributes and with the functions, right? So for the functions, we're going to go back to the animation. I should have made a shortcut, but that's fine. Animation, key, set driven key. Let's open this. So the first thing we want to work with is what's been driven, right? And what's being driven is the J heel, the J toe, the J ball. We don't need the ankle. And the J wiggle. So 4 joints, right? We can open the set driven key so that now the set driven key is open with the driven selection. And the driver will be the IK controller. So select the IK controller and load it as the driver. He's the driver. So now we have all the attributes, right, that we can tell it what to do. All right, so let's work with the first attribute, which is the J heel, left and right. Okay, so for the J heel left and right, there's a possibility that we will skip this one, right? And I'll tell you exactly why. So J heel and J heel down, we're going to skip it. We're going to move on to J ball, and I'll tell you why after. But let's move on to J ball, and under J ball, we're going to select the J ball joint. Right, and this will be, let's take a look at the rotation that's involved. It'll be rotation Y. So J ball, rotation Y, and hit keyframe. So now go back to the controller, and when J ball goes up to 10, well, we're going to rotate that J ball. Sorry about that. J ball. And let's find an extreme pose right now. Let's just do -90. That's extreme, but that's fine. And set a keyframe. So that now when we select the controller, J-ball's at 10, right? And we want to do the same thing for the J-toe, right? So we're going to set a keyframe for the J-toe, but don't forget to actually select the J-toe here, right? So do not set keyframes on the wrong attribute. Do not set keyframes on the wrong attributes. Just take a look at the attribute J-toe, driven J-toe, right? Take your time. Time to unwind, my baby. All right, set a keyframe for right now. So if I select the controller, J-toe, I'm going to set it to 10 now. So we set a keyframe on 0 at a neutral pose. And now J-toe is on 10, so we can select the J-toe. And now we can push the extreme, and let's just set it to -90, just like all the other ones. All right, -90, and set a keyframe. So that now when we select the controller, right, J-toe is at 10, right, J-ball is right here. Pretty cool, right? All right, awesome. Awesome. Let's move on to the J heel. Not the J heel, the J wiggle. Now for the J wiggle and the J heel, we're going to do something else. But at least you have the knowledge to work with the set driven key and these two. So for the other ones, I want to use the connection editor because I want to have limitless amount of rotations in there. But we're going to have to go back to the attribute editor and make a few changes so that now you're going to get familiar with editing attributes. So select the controller and let's use the EA edit attribute. So now you know exactly how to edit your attributes. And if you have any changes, let's say we're going to work with the J heel up and down. Well, yeah, let's do left and right. J heel left and right, right? Well, we're going to set the minimum value to 0 right here. Right? So we have no more values to set. And I'm going to tell you exactly why we're making this change right now. All right, so we're going to close it, which means that if I were to select this controller right now for the J heel left and right, you'll notice that we have a limitless numerical values, right? So, and that's exactly what we want. And I'll tell you exactly why also. But I do need to select this one and this one, right? These two. So the controller first and the J heel after. I want you to open the connection editor right here. It's a very simple connection, but you do need to make this thoroughly and just like I mentioned. Select the controller, select the joint. So now we have the connection editor. So the left foot controller is on the left and the J heel is on the right. I'm going to go all the way down and select J heel left and right, right? And if you select your J heel right here and rotate it, I just want to see which rotation value is affected, which is rotation Z, right? So I want to go back down to rotation. Let's look for rotations here. Rotate order, there it is. It is grayscale, so be very careful. Right, so remember, rotate and see exactly which one is affected, and it's rotation Z. Right, so the J heel left and right is selected, and rotate Z has been selected. And that's it. So now if you select your controller and select the J heel left and right, you'll notice that we have a limitless connection for that rotation. Right, so it's a very, very simple way to connect these together. We're going to do the same thing for the up and down. So the J heel up and down, select your J heel, go up and down, and rotation Y is affected. So J heel up and down, rotation Y. It's that easy. It really is. But now you know how to use the connection editor as well too. Okay, awesome. Just remember that we have not connected the the reverse footlock to the IK controller yet, right? So you need to do it this way. But now if I were to select the J heel up and down, so now we have that. Just remember the J heel up and down still has these locked values, minimum and maximum. So now you know how to do this, right? Edit attribute, J heel up and down, and just turn these off. That's all. Right, so that now if you select it, you have it, right? Now it doesn't really look that good at first, but if you elevate the foot, I'm pretty sure it'll look much better. Okay, so we have that covered. We also have the J ball done. We have the J heel, so let's test them out a little bit. Right, J heel, working, up and down, working, J ball, working, J toe, working, J wiggle. Let's do the J wiggle as well. Right, so we're going to select the J wiggle. There it is. Select the J wiggle and load it to the right. So we still have the IK controller on the left side. Select the J wiggle, and please take a look at the rotation that's affected. Right, so if I select the J wiggle and rotate it, it's rotation Y. So I'm going to scroll all the way down and look for my rotations, which are right here, and rotation Y. So that now when you select the controller, select the J wiggle, there's that wiggle. But remember, those locked attributes are still there, right? So, I mean, I should have done that in one shot, but at least you'll have more hands-on experience on this. All right, so let's look for the J wiggle and just turn these off so that there are no minimum and maximum values. If you select the controller now, right, it's limitless. All right, we're going to create just 2 more attributes now, or 2 more functions. I want you to select the J heel joint, and let's create a location, a locator alignment. So select the J heel and select the local line script, so that now you have a locator right here. Hit Control 1 so you can see it, right? I want you to use the all script to clean it. Put it right smack in the middle, right here. Right, we're going to call this one local line center. And duplicate it, hit Control D. Set it to the side. Let's put it right here at this location. Right, so this will be my banking left. We're going to call this one local line J bank left, and make another duplicate. Hit Control D, bank right. Okay, awesome. All right, so what we're going to do is take the left side and the right side, use the all script, clean it. Now I want you to take the right side, shift select the left banking. We're talking about locators, right? Hit P, right? And I want you to take the bank left, shift select the center and hit P. So that now the center is taking over everything, right? So we have 3 locators, right? Center, left, right. Got it? Okay. All right, so the next step will be to take my J heel right here, shift select the local line center and hit the letter P. Right, so that now when we select that center right here, it's in full control of the foot. And we want to have that. All right, the next step will be to take my, there. The next step will be to take my bank right locator, right? Make sure that you have it on the right selection. Right, we're going to take the J heel, control select the bank right locator and hit the letter P. So that now everything is parented to this one. All right, so take a look at this video, rewind it if you like, but I just want to show you exactly what we did. If I were to select my center locator, now I have full control of the foot, right? The attributes are still working. If I want to select my banking left, now it's banking to the left. If I want to take my banking right, now it's banking to the right, right? And now we can take this one and shift select it to the IK controller for the foot. Right, so we're putting everything on that controller so that now when we select the controller, everything is adjustable and these attributes are going to work, right? J heel and everything else. But we need to make the banking left and right work, right? So just remember we have the 0 script as well to go back to its original bind post position. And let's also create one last function and we're finished with the reverse foot lock, which will be to select the controller and let's add attribute. Let's pull a long name. Long name will be let's call this one LOC. So now we know these are the locators. LOC underscore center. Leave no properties for the numbers. And then we already have banking left and right, so we're good, right? Okay, perfect. Let's get rid of the log center because that's just an easy, it'll be an easy connection editor thing. Select this one, shift select the center. There it is, J lookalign, the lookalign J center, right? Hopefully you're not getting too confused. And let's open up the connection editor, log center, and let's take a look at its rotating functions. So it functions on the rotation Y. We're pretty much doing the same thing we did before, right? So now it's connected. You can test it out now. Log center. All right. And we want to do the same thing for banking left and right, but we're going to use the set driven key for this one, right? So I'm going to select the left, shift select the right. Let's go back to set driven key, left and right. Select the controller, load as driver. Banking left, right? So let's take a look at the rotational values. Okay, so we're going to do 90 and 90, right? So when the banking left goes to there. So when the banking left and right is set to -10, Now let's do, yeah, -10. Let's do +10. Okay. All right. So let's set a neutral keyframe. All right. So it'll be select the rotation. So it's always rotation Z, right, for left and right. Yeah, rotation Z. Cool. So banking left and right, rotation Z, neutral pose, and set a keyframe. Okay, select the controller. Now let's go to +10. And under +10, let's take the left side, or right side, no, left side, sorry, and set a -90. There, and set a keyframe. Let's go back to the controller, and now let's go to -10. And under -10, we're going to take the right banking and push it to +90. Set a keyframe. So that now when you select your controller, we have -10, +10, right? And we're pretty much done with the foot controller. Right, so if you want to test it out now, select your IK system, right? Move your foot, select the controller, right? Test all of them out. J heel, up and down, J ball, J toe, J wiggle, banking left and right, right? And remember that lock center, it's still there. Right. You can also do a little cleanup with the weights right here if you like, but for right now we're not focused on this. Just remember you have the 0 script, so we go back to the original bind post position. Okay? And then I want you to do this for the next one. We'll probably do it together after. You know what? I completely forgot. We need to do the other side. No! Okay. So let's do this. Let's take a look at the right side. And let's make the switch to, okay, so I'm going to go extremely fast on this one. All right. Boom, boom, boom. All right, let's work with IK system. So we have this controller. Boom. And now we have all these attributes, right? So either I can copy and paste, duplicate it to the other side, parent it. It'll be a little hassle just because we have all this to deal with, but let's just do it. F it. Hit Control D and let's move it to the other side. All right. I want to make sure that it's snapped correctly. Also, hit Alt 2. V. There it is. Awesome. Right. I want to hit Control 1 and clean that up, right? So there are certain things that we don't need in there. All right, so let's open up the hypergraph just for the copy, right? We don't want to create these attributes again and again and again. Just want to have this set. You can Shift P. All right, so now we're going to do a little cleanup. We don't need the IK handles, but at least we have the system already done. Right? Let's take a look at this. That's the foot controller, right? That's the controller. That's the copy. It's acting a little bit weird, right? So let's see. That's fine. Let's go to show objects, options, display, shape nodes. There we are. Awesome. All right, so I have my shape nodes and I know exactly what I have. Okay, so we have my copy. If I hit Shift, Control 1 again, at least it's snapped perfectly to the skeleton, right? So we won't have any issues for the pivots. Okay, so now that we have everything set, let's select this controller oh, sorry, this setting, right? And we're going to parent it. We're going to parent it to this group, right? So if you remember what this group was, it is right here under IK right foot. It's right here, IK right foot. So I want to make sure that this selection is right here after when we parent it, right? Don't forget about this. Okay, so let's move on. I'm going to take this IK controller and I'm going to hide it. Control H. Select this controller. And we're going to look for those IK handles and make sure that this works properly. So let's look for the IK handles on the right side, right IK. They're hidden right now. Hit control. Oh no, that's the right IK foot controller. Yep, there they are. All right, so just remember how this works. Let's take the right leg IK handle 1, shift select the ankle, hit P. Foot to the J ball, hit P. Right? Toe to the J wiggle, hit P. Okay. Let's bring this over here. Awesome. Shift 2 just to test it out. Let's take a look at the J ball. Working. Right. J heel. Awesome. Always test everything out just to make sure nothing bugs out, right? Ankle, J heel, that's fine. Awesome. It looks like everything seems to be in place. Test the J wiggle as well. Awesome. So now that we have that, we can easily use the connection editor for everything. Right, so let's do this right now. We're going to select this controller, and this will be the right IK controller. Awesome. This will be loaded to the left. All right, we're gonna first start with the J heel again one more time. But you see, we didn't have to recreate everything again, so that's one good thing. So for the left and right on the J heel, let's take a look at the rotation value, which is rotation Z. Rotate, right? So we want to do J heel left and right, right? Z. Heel up and down, I remember it was Y. So now if we select these, right? J heel left and right is working. Heel up and down, working, right? We're going to do the J ball, but first let's do the J wiggle. All right, so select the J wiggle right here. Load right, J wiggle, rotation Y. J ball, oh sorry, J wiggle, rotation Y. There it is. Awesome. So now we have J wiggle. Whoa, sorry. J ball, sorry. Whoops, that was wrong. Haha, J ball. Oh, no, we're escaping the J ball. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, people. I took the wrong joint. Reload right. There. Rotation Y, I believe. Let's do this. J wiggle. Okay, awesome. Yeah, sorry about that. All right, so you get the J wiggle. Let's work on the J toe and the J ball with the set driven key. Right, so we're going to take a look at the set driven key right here. Remember, the right controller will be the driver this time. We're going to take the J ball. All right, so select the J ball. We need the J toe. Load as driven. Oh, whoops. That's supposed to be selected. J ball. Load driven. It's got a long name. Huh. Oh, that's the J wiggle. No, 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 no. J ball, man. J ball. Load driven. There it is. There it is. J ball. Right, so I want to make sure. Okay, we got it right. And look at that. I added attributes like an idiot on the wrong joint. And you guys didn't tell me anything. So let's delete those. We don't need those, right? Ugh, you idiot. Idiot. All right, let's delete these attributes. All right, 1, 2, and 3. And delete. Because it could get quite confusing, right? There it is. That's what I want to see. All right, so let's first start with the J ball. And J ball selected. Let's take a look at the rotation value. Rotation Y. Rotation Y. Set a keyframe. Set the J ball to 10. Right. Rotation Y. Sorry. J ball. Set a negative 90. Push the extreme. Set a keyframe. Test it out. Right. J ball. Let's do J toe. Select the J toe. Load driven. Test the rotation value, which is rotation Y. Rotation Y. Key. Oh, no, 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 no. Go back. Look at that. J toe. So I want to make sure the J ball is not affected. J ball. There it is. J toe. Okay, cool. Get scared there. All right, J toe selection. Let's make sure that this is the J toe. And it is. Awesome. So we set a keyframe on neutral, and then we set the J toe to a positive 10. There it is. Let's set this to negative 90 and set a keyframe. Awesome. All right. So let's take the controller and set that J toe value to 0. We're almost done with everything. All right. Don't forget that we have the banking left and right and the center. So the center is pretty simple, right? Right here, the center locator. So we want to take that and open up the connection editor. Let's load it to the right, right? And let's add this controller to the left. Scroll down, lock center, and let's take a look at the rotation value. Right here, it rotates on Y. So let's go to rotation Y. Remember, we've done this on the other side, right? We just made a duplicate. And we didn't have to rename or recreate all the attributes from left to right, which is kind of cool, right? And we have the banking left and right finally to finish. So test it out again for the lock center. Awesome. Let's do the banking left and right. Banking left. Banking right. Load as driven. So here's the left side. Let's take a look at what we have here. So when we bank to a positive 10, we're going to do the same thing for this one. Right, and it rotates on rotation Z. So we'll do rotation Z on both of them. All right. And we're going to move on to banking left and right. Don't forget about these. Rotation Z. Key on neutral. Go back to banking. And we're going to go to banking to positive 10, just like the other side. We want to have everything symmetrical. So that'll be the... Sorry about that. That will be the bank right. We're going to push that to a positive 90. And set a keyframe. So that now when we test it out, positive 10. Whoops. To 0, right? Negative 10 is not working. So we're going to move on to negative 10. And on -10, we're going to take the left banking and set that to a -90. -90. Set a keyframe. So that now when we select our controllers, -10, +10, right? Awesome. Now we can take both of these, set it to 0, and that will be it for the reverse footlock. Now, I know it's a lot to take in, but then again, you have these extra attributes. Now, if you want to escape these attributes, that's fine by me, but you won't have any flexibility once this is all mocapped, right? When you add the motion capture in there, you won't have these attributes available after. So it kind of sucks, right? Yeah, that kind of sucks. All right, so we have these set, and then we're going to move on to the arms for after. All right, we want to do a little cleanup after. Just turn these off for right now. All right, turn off the skeleton and make sure that the body is non-selective, so that now you can easily select your controllers and you can test it out. Yay, right? Awesome. Don't forget that we also had a duplicate of controllers, remember, right here. So do not forget to take this controller, right, and parent it to the foot control group right here, right? So want to make sure that we get that done. Select it and hit P, right? So when we select this controller, everything's working properly. So we don't really need the controller after for this one. We don't really need it anymore. So you can hit delete. Sorry, you can hit delete. Sorry about that. All right, you can test it out again just to make sure everything works properly. All right, awesome. Save your work, hit Control S, and I will see you later for the arms. Okay.